Welcome back. More COVID news. Governments worldwide are putting their feet down as COVID continues its comeback in the form of Omicron. A row over in-person teaching has divided Chicago, while Australia is ramping up testing. Here's Winna Wong.
For Australia, it's another day of significant jumps. There were 72,000 new cases nationwide, a fresh record and 10,000 more than yesterday. This prompted a switch in testing procedures. People who are positive with a rapid antigen test need not confirm their diagnosis with a PCR test. Some say this may skew the numbers through underreporting, since the rapid tests are done at home.
Case numbers are less the issue. It's connecting to care that is the issue, and the Commonwealth provides the telehealth support for people to be able to do that and to get advice on how they can manage their infection at home, and should matters escalate, then obviously to seek further assistance.
The United States is also ramping up testing as nearly 1.1 million kits arrived in Oregon, while Washington State ordered 5.5 million more at-home tests. In Chicago, teachers and the authorities have locked horns on whether in-person teaching should resume after the winter holidays.
The safest place for kids to be in the pandemic is in person in our schools. So if you care about our students, if you care about their families, as we do, we will not relent. Enough is enough.
But teachers are refusing to return to school after their union voted to switch to remote learning.
The city has failed to deliver a whole number of basic demands that we need in the schools, has failed to provide adequate staffing, adequate cleaning in the schools, has failed to provide adequate testing.
Meanwhile, the Grammy Music Awards ceremony, scheduled for January 31st in Los Angeles, has been postponed indefinitely. Winna Wong, HKIBC.
In the day's other news, at least 8 security personnel have been killed in Kazakhstan as protesters burned government buildings and seized an airport. The Central Asian country has asked a Russian-led alliance to send troops to quell the unrest, which began as a rally against fuel price hikes. Sarah Wong reports.
Kazakhstan's biggest city, Almaty, turned into a battleground when thousands of people attacked government buildings and the airport to vent their outrage over a fuel price increase. The hike forced motorists in the oil-rich former Soviet republic to pay twice as much for petrol. Anger led to protests across the country, prompting the government to resign and forcing President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev to scrap the price increase while imposing a state of emergency. But the unrest raged on as protesters turned to other demands and also targeted Tokayev's predecessor, Nursultan Nazarbayev. Kazakhstan's first president after the Soviet era resigned in 2019 after 30 years in power, but still wields considerable influence. In a desperate bid, Tokayev turned to Russia for military assistance under the Collective Security Treaty Organization. Moscow and other members, all former Soviet states, agreed to send in peacekeeping forces for a limited period to quell the protest. The United States said it supported peaceful protests and denied orchestrating the unrest ahead of bilateral talks between American and Russian officials in Europe.
There are some crazy Russian claims about the U.S. being behind this, so let me just use this opportunity to convey that as absolutely false.
The United Nations urged all parties to stay calm and avoid escalating the tensions. Sarah Wong, HKIBC.
A court in the British city of Bristol has cleared 4 people charged with criminal damage for toppling the statue of 17th century slave trader Edward Colston.
We didn't change history, we rectified history. We illuminated history. And this is a victory for Bristol, this is a victory for racial equality, and it's a victory for anyone who wants to be on the right side of history.
Willoughby added that some people have been trying to whitewash history by portraying Colston as a virtuous person. Hundreds of people gathered in Bristol in June last year to pull down his statue. Colston's company profited immensely by transporting 84,000 black men, women, and children from Africa to the Americas. About a quarter of the Africans died on the journey. Colston later became a member of Parliament and was revered for his charitable acts in Bristol. His statue was dumped in a river. Banks in Hong Kong have made work-from-home arrangements as the city tries to stop a new COVID wave. HSBC expects to have just half of its 30,000-strong workforce in the office from Friday. Standard Chartered has divided its workforce into teams, while UBS has split its employees into two groups, with each returning to the office on alternate weeks. Bank of America wants its employees to work from home for 2 weeks. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 165 points. To the top 10 active stocks, Tencent was up $6.40, Meituan up $7.10, Alibaba up $6.50, and Wuxi Bio down 95 cents. Tracker Fund up 18 cents, China Res Power down $1.80, Kuaishou up 40 cents, Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearings down $5.20. To the forex trading against the Hong Kong dollar, the euro is at 8.82, British pound at 10.56, and Australian dollar at 5.59. Over in the UK market, the FTSE 100 is down 48 points. The airport authority has raised $4 billion to help pay for the third runway at Cheklap Kok. The greenback-denominated debt includes $1 billion from a 5-year green bond. According to analysts, shrinking traffic at the airport because of COVID increased the cost of raising the funds. The prices set for the bonds were up to 60 basis points more than for the $1.5 billion the airport authority raised 1 year ago. On to the weather now. It will be cool tomorrow morning and mainly fine throughout the day. Temperatures will range between 16 and 21 degrees. Similar conditions over the weekends. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Thursday. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Johanna Chan. Good evening.